Action, reaction, news, and interviews. From Europe's biggest open-wheeled formula, this is the F2 Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the F2 Show live special today. Yes, we have indeed.
The F2 Show. We've got a semi on.
We have indeed, and we'll find out who the 56 lucky individuals are going to be. We are live, well, we got people at Skegness giving us results and information. We'll bring you the semi-final grids first and fastest here on Stoxradio. It's an interesting day today. It certainly should be one to behold, but we are certainly, guess this, hit the cheesy button. If you're from the 80s, you know this. Yep, we're definitely
going for gold. The heat is on, the time is right. It's time for you to play your game. 'Cause people are coming, everyone's trying to be the best that they can when they're going for gold.
There you go. A bit of the old 1980s, late 90s pan-European quiz show Going for Gold. Once upon a time, hosted by, of course, Henry Kelly. It's Johnny Hall with you, with the F2 Show, counting down basically the time until we get to the semi-final grids, which should be there. It's going to be a bit of an epic show tonight, so if you're with us, please stay with us all the way through, because you will only get the semi-final grids here first and fastest. So, let's have a look and see who's actually at Skegness. Now, there's one name that we thought might be there, and there's one name we thought might not be. And those, of course, are the same two guys that we always talk about. Unfortunately, they're things. Gordon Moody, not there. Roll Speak is there, and he's got the old panels out from the car that said Mr. Moody destroyed at the 2013 World Final at Taunton. So, tonight it's all about getting scores on the board and making sure everything is tickety-boo. Now, confirmed attendance here, and this has been confirmed by my very good sources. We have George McMillan. He is there. He needs to score a better score than 23 points tonight to better his score. Well, no more than 5, because obviously if he doesn't better that score, then it only goes up by 5. We have Craig Wallace in 16. 38, Dave Polly is there. Again, he's another one that needs a better score. He needs a better score of 16 to advance up the grid a bit more. 53, Phil Mann is there. He needs a small miracle to get into the semi-final grid. I'm not doing that, things like that. I mean, he has got quite a bit of work to do. As has Mark Fortune in 64. He's towards the bottom end of the grid. He's there. Cy Haraway, nicely positioned. I think he's just there to cement his position at the semi-finals. Jamie Avery. Now, there's another guy who needs to get some points tonight. He'll get 5 for turning up, and that's that. Almost said the wrong word. Michael Green. He's there. He needs to score a better score than 12 tonight to advance himself up the grid. It's mathematically impossible for him to hit the front row, which is something I've got there. There's the 2 Percys. I think it's a debutant tonight for the 174 Percy, and obviously Ashley Percy in 175 is no mug. He's been out before. Aaron Vate needs to score better than 8 to move up the grid, and Jack Marshall has got 5 points for turning up there. 2 and 8, that's Rob Speak. He needs to score better than 13. Now, if he shows the form that he did at the Taunton qualifying round, then he may well do that. If he's been, for someone who's not done very many meetings this year, Speaky's certainly shown the pace on both tarmac and on shell this year. So, there we go. Speaking of shell drivers, 226 Billy Webster, he's here. 297, that's Paul Bailey. 458, local driver, that's Mark Meads. 488, that's Liam Bentham, who only needs to score points today, actual points, national points, and he'll go up the grid a bit further. James Riggle, he is certainly one that is on the cusp. He is certainly there. Another Steve Gilbert. Steve Gilbert also requiring a heavy score today to guarantee his place on the grid. He's travelled all the way from Cornwall, and he's not the only one, as we'll come to those in a moment. 557, Andrew Spence has travelled all the way from Skeggy. 560, Luke Wrench, returning from his layoff that he had. Darren Clark in 571, he's also mid-grid at the moment. Another bloke who is hasn't signed in at the point when we got the information, that was Andrew Palmer. Andrew needs to better 11 points to obviously get himself a bit further up the grid, and he could steal a pole position off of Dave Polly, or indeed George McMillan. But George, I think, is too far in the lead. Remember, there's only a maximum of 35 points up for grabs tonight. Gary Silliphant is another one, a Cornish blue top. He is also coming up from all the way from Davidstow in North Cornwall. He is another one to watch there. He also needs points to get himself onto a first ever semi-final for him. Stephen Forster, he has also turned up, as has Richard Clubley. John Broach in 722, he's there, as in Colin Thompson. Now, Colin Thompson also is another driver that needs the points. He needs to get them in. Tim Bailey, 817, he's there as well. Another bloke who needs some big scores tonight. Gary Walker, the veteran, he's on the cusp, I would say, of getting through. And the bloke who currently occupies 56th place at the moment with 41 points is Lee Bartram in 913. 92, John Hogg is down. He's having a look and see if he can get on the grid. Kelvin Marshall. I must stop saying that. I do say that throughout the show tonight. We've pre-recorded a bit for you to listen to. So that will be with you in a moment. Also got Chris Burgoyne turned up. Chris also looking to boost his position up the grid. Jack Cave in 801 is there. Kieran Bedford in 593. Jack Aldridge. Obviously, we haven't seen much of Jack this year. He has been racing his Formula 1, and he is out for a play. As is Sheldon Wadsworth, I think, who might well sneak into the grid. It'll be the first time in a while for him. And Ben Lockwood in 618 brings up the cars that we have. We have a full format meeting here today. It's all going to be good, all gravy. There is ways of getting in contact with us, of course, here on Stoxradio. You can get in contact with us in the usual manner, and that is, of course, Spreaker.com/Stoxradio. Click on the live chat bit of the button, which is a little speech bubble, and you can get in and yabber on to me. Also, you can do it on your Facebook. That is what we do, Facebook.com/Stoxradio, and also you can tweet us at Stoxradio. So, without further ado, let's have a look and see what we've done at this point in time. I will break at some points. We will break into the conversation and press this button when you hear this sound. We've got some dramatic music. All that means is there's a result coming through. And once we've got that result coming through to you, we'll confirm it. And then when it is confirmed, we'll put the points into the supercomputer and we'll see who is going to be there. And that can happen at any time. So we will interrupt broadcasts and pre-record interviews and stuff like that to give you that information. So, are you ready, folks? You ready to rumble? Let's get going. Firstly, we start to talk with the qualifying round chat. So we start back at Buxton. And, of course, the bloke who usually comes and talks to me on a normal show is Steve Linfield. Now, we chat to the man in the know with the whole of Brisker Land, and that is Steve Linfield, a man who's been here, there, and actually everywhere in commentary boxes up and down the land. And whether they like it or not, he's been there and thereabouts. Evening, Steve.
Good evening.
So, let's start at the beginning of the month, and obviously we are looking at qualifying rounds here today because obviously it's the last one tonight, being the qualifying round at Skegness, all seeing who has got those 56 spots in the semi-finals. And we start basically the last three, the cluster that always happens, Buxton, and it was a fairly good showing up there.
Yeah, it was a good showing because there wasn't a huge amount of travellers or visitors, travellers, call them what you will. For the first time for a long time, there was none from the southwest. Brett Constable hails from Swindon, which is a very borderline case. I would say that's more south of England. There was a quartet from Scotland, and that was about it, really, with regards to travellers. So it was not a bad entry of Midlands, sort of northwest drivers.
And of course, a lot of the travellers were obviously en route to other venues the following day.
They were. There was an awful lot of drivers who raced at Buxton, but then appeared at said venues the next day. So,
well, it was the first opportunity for Gordon Moody to get his scorecard up and running. With first heat was. We would say the word veteran. We hate using it on this show, but it is the case for Gary Walker in 821, who took the first heat. And second heat was the first heat win of the season for Mr. Moody. Yes. Consolation went very much to form, the form book being at Buxton. The man, the expert round that track is Kelvin Marshall. He took that consolation.
Yes, having dropped out early on from his heat, yeah.
Yeah, but the final went the way of Jamie Conway, and now Jamie has been, like I say, one of the 4 men round Buxton this year.
That's right. It just goes to show that, local track knowledge counts for everything. He got a good break early on and was never caught. Kelvin Marshall was closing towards the end, but it was Jamie's win and a very swift return to the red grade.
Indeed, and I caught up to him the following day as he travelled down the various motorways and A roads down to St Day the following day. Right, I'm here with Buxton final winner. That's Jamie Conway. Jamie, tell us about that final win.
It was all right. I got a breakaway from the start, and then luckily I caught up 2 back markers, passed them both, and they held everyone else up for me. So it was pretty all right, to be honest.
So, obviously, you started the season at yellow, and you've rose the grades up to the red, and now you're down to blue again, but you're heading back up to red. How has it been, obviously, going up the escalator, so to speak?
It's been all right. It's been hard from red. We went to Northampton, didn't finish the first one, went out in the consolation, got second behind Palmer, and then ever since then we've just been struggling a bit, really, with the car since we bent it at Birmingham. But now with me, my dad and Lee Buck, we spent all day Sunday, all day Saturday night, all week trying to get the car ready to come this weekend. Put as much effort as we could into it, and it's paid off this weekend. So
And you've been a regular attendant at the qualifying rounds. I see you at the Bristol qualifying beginning of the year, and obviously now you're down at St. Day, and obviously you can't complete the set with a Taunton, but you have been racing at Taunton this year. Are you chasing to get in the semi-final this year?
Yeah, this year we've aimed to do as many qualifying meetings as we can, get into the semi somewhere halfway up the grid or a bit further back maybe, and just see if we can get into the World Final. That's the aim for this year.